Okay, I'm going to show you the basics of programming here and how to get started. I just opened my testbed template. Here it is right here. So the first thing you should always do is File, save this as whatever you're going to call your new one, and I'm going to call my new one Notes 3. And you always want to save it so that you don't write over your template. So always start off by saving over and saving it under a new name. Now I'm working on a new program. The first thing to know is that these curly braces right here, this in between here is where you have to write your program. If you write it outside those, it's going to mess up. And always start on the line right below this so we can see that you have these curly braces here. So this is where we're going to put our program. Now an important thing to realize is that these are pull down menus on this side. So we're going to do a simple program here that I'm going to show you how to turn on a motor. And we always want to go to natural language, and then I want to turn on a motor. So that's under movement. Now these I can actually drag and drop these. Start motor, I'm going to drag it over here and drop it there. You'll notice that this is in blue because it's typed properly, and then it asks where is the motor, what port is the motor in? Well, we called our motor right motor. Now notice as I start typing this, it remembers that I've called one this, and I can now click on this and hit enter, and it types it in. Notice it made it red. If I mistype it and I leave it like this, it's not red. If I've got it correctly named, it's now turned red for us. And in the speed, I have to set a speed, and you'll learn later how to set it. I'm just going to set it at 50 for now. Notice that also turned red because it's an acceptable speed. If I put an unacceptable speed in, oh, it's still there. Acceptable speed 50. And notice when I did it, it automatically put the semicolon at the end of my line. You must have a semicolon at the end of each line. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to put in a stop motor. Again, I ran over here, grabbed it, drag it over here. This motor port is which motor do we want to do? Well, I want to do that. I turned it on, now I want to turn it off. Notice it didn't tell me a speed because I don't turn something off at a speed. Now, if I do this program, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people do. If I run this program, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to turn the motor on and immediately turn it off. There's going to be no wait time in between. It's going to do it so fast the motor won't even move. So what I have to do is put a wait in between doing items. And if any time your program is not working, add a wait. So I'm going to put in wait, and I want to wait just regular time, and I'm going to put it in between there. And then how long do we want to wait? This is automatically put in as seconds. So 1 second is good, 2 seconds, you can even put in 0.5. I always put in about 1, seems good unless the program tells you something else. And I don't need all those extra spaces in there. So here's my program properly written. Now we're going to add what they call pseudocode. This is like comments if you're used to doing programming. And in RobotC, you put in 2 little lines like that, and it turns green. Notice when I put in 1, it's still red. When I put in 2, it's green. The computer ignores everything in green. Those are just comments for a human, like your teacher or another programmer, to read what you mean for that line to do. In this case, this line starts the right motor, which I can't type. There you go. Then this line, wait 1 second. Then this line, stops right motor. This is not in a special configuration. This is just so a human can read it and tell what happens. We will have pseudocode on every line of our program every time. I will just send you back to fix it if you don't do it. You will in fact get a 0 if you do not have pseudocode on your program every time. By the way, when you turn in a program, you can just do your snipping tool and snip just this part of the program to print it out. That way you can paste 2 of these programs on one Word document or one doc and then print it out for both members of your group to glue it into your notebook. You know exactly what the program's doing because it says right here. You can also write up here in this task description, turns motor on and off. It's green up here because this part is being ignored by the computer. That's why we can put in our project team names, etc., etc. at the top. So that's the basics of programming. You should look over here under natural language and see what different types of options there are to pull over here and drop in there, because really the pull and drop is the best way to do it. If I try to type it in, let's say that we want to add another line here and I want to start the left motor. And if I type it like this, notice that when I typed it, I've made some typos on purpose so you can see it did not change those to blue. That's because I mistyped them. This is your first hint that something's wrong. If I go in and type that, notice it's in blue because it's actually saying that that's the name, but because it doesn't have that capital N, it's going to get mad at me. If I hit enter, it popped the one up from there. Now here it's like I don't have any idea what you're doing. I type in the extra R, now it's going to catch it. What's going to happen if I leave my program like this? Well, one, the motor's not going to turn because it's at a speed of 0. But if I do it like this, what's going to happen is the program is going to end right here. So it's going to start the left motor and then it's going to keep running even after the program. Actually, it's going to start running, but there's no wait. So it's just going to cut that one off. So I'd have to put a wait in there at the end. That's the basics of programming. I'm going to do another video to show you how to read the error messages.